So
I mean, I gave the text
You already
one.
gave one, so somebody else can have a try at
Okay.
it. If
We didn't kill a lizard.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
We almost fought a lizard, but then we're like, oh, this is a lizard, huh?
Yep.
Victor kicked it though, which was funny.
Like the football.
Like the football. Jail for Victor for 1,000 years.
Yep.
We eventually got the lizard.
I was gonna grab it like the football, and then PK showed me the grapple flow chart, and I went, I will take mercy on everybody.
Also, it was a Komodo dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a monitor lizard.
Oh, okay. Those are easily more grabbable than a Komodo dragon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Komodo dragon will end your shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, monitor lizards are still like, okay, so monitor lizards' tails hurt, claws hurt, teeth hurt, but they aren't poisonous and giant. So, well, some
And
of them are giant.
And they don't track you down across an entire island to eat you once they decide you smell good.
Yeah.
Like,
that's not
if
fair.
a Komodo...
That's not fair. They can also swim, so they can track you across the ocean.
Oh yeah, if a
Komodo, how could we forget that part?
If a Komodo dragon looks at you and is like, yummy, you have to leave the country to get away from one.
Komodo dragons will see a man and ask if anyone's gonna eat that and not wait for an answer.
They sure will. I hate them. They scare the shit out of me.
Did you know Australia used to have a giant Komodo dragon at one point called a Megalania? But that's extinct.
Yay!
Don't
Good.
like this information.
Thank God.
People theorize that when people first arrived in Australia, there were still Megalanias, but there's no way to prove that. But it's a theory, and honestly, if I rode up in a boat,
a game theory. Sorry,
I rode up in a boat, saw a giant fucking lizard, I'd be like, "Okay, guys, back in the boat."
We're going back. I don't care if we're arrested.
You know, I don't care if I'm in jail. I think everyone deserves not to be eaten by this lizard.
I'm not dealing with that fucking thing.
I'll overthrow this whole boat.
Oh my God. I will tip us into the ocean. Don't test me.
Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, we beat the lizard.
Yes.
We beat the lizard. There was some stuff that people said. We went and saw the woman.
The Sphinx, yeah. Just Is this Hana?
Jarasana.
Yeah.
Hold on.
God, I took very little notes. I feel terrible, but I was also really out of it.
You're good, man. I never take notes ever, including for sessions I DM, so you don't have to take notes for this game. It'll be okay.
I mean, we also had a talk with the owner of the circus, or not? Is it circus, right? Where there was an instance the day after the lizard thing, where somebody was murdered, and they are being accused of the Sphinx having something to do with it, and they rooted us out to try and have a third party hopefully help them figure out who did it, because they know it wouldn't have been the Sphinx. That's as much as I remember.
We're gonna be investigating a murder.
We're gonna do an investigation mission.
And there is apparently some other context that Skylar would have that the rest of us wouldn't really. And also Skylar's the one who has actually interacted with the sheriff in a positive light before, so...
Yeah, so Skylar doesn't have any context about what just happened. Skylar has context about other things that may be relevant to this, might not be relevant to this. Who's to say? Certainly not Skylar.
We'll fuck around and find out. It's fine.
But that's Skylar's business. And yeah, so basically we left off with Almara DeLeeson, who is in charge of the circus. She runs this show. promising you guys 600 gold to successfully prove the innocence of the Sphinx and the rest of the circus by extension, and writing a letter to the sheriff that declares you guys as sort of her proxies in
Legal
this
counsel?
investigation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not legal counsel so much as like
We are doing an investigation
you
on her
guys
behalf.
are not. I cannot stress this enough. You guys
Yeah.
are not lawyers.
Wait,
Yeah.
what her proxy for?
You're her
I'm gonna be a small
representation in the
country lawyer.
investigation.
Okay, so none of us are small town country lawyers then. Okay. Wow,
There
guys.
are no lawyers in this party on purpose, because the only thing you cannot be in Pathfinder is a lawyer. That's
We-
false.
No
There
lawyer.
many
We are
There's
not
no
a-
lawyer.
Damn.
I was about to go. I'm sure there's a way to make a lawyer, and now I want to find it.
Yeah.
We are
Lawyer
not
No, there are
Hallmark.
lawyers.
Where's the lawyer class?
Buddy, I hate to say it, but one of you is a fucking lawyer. Anyway, let's
God.
carry on.
Which
We-
one?
You'll
You'll
find
like to know.
out. You'll find out, bud. You will find out. So, you guys have been promised 600 gold in exchange for your services. Almara DeLayson has given you a signed, sealed note to deliver to the sheriff, identifying you guys as her sort of third-party investigators. The crotch of my jeans just ripped open as I was speaking.
Oh,
That was awful when that happened. I feel bad for you. It sucks when that happens.
Pants anymore.
I mean, at least your chair didn't break.
God.
Knock on
Tell
wood.
me about my chair breaking, Jamie. Fire for
Oh,
context.
God.
One time, my chair broke while we were playing D&D, and
And
like,
it is
the recording-
recorded on video.
It
the
is.
That's
recording
funny
of it
because-
splitting and me screaming is immortalized.
We
Literally
made
the day
sure
before.
that we made sure that PK was okay, and then we started to laugh.
Yeah, and like literally the day before, they're like, guys, I think my chair's almost done for, or something like
Not
that.
the day before. 10 minutes before, I sent a picture like, haha, guys,
That's
look
right.
how
How
my
long do
chair
you
is
think it's
splitting.
gonna
Yeah,
last?
that's
10
right.
minutes after that, it fucking split, and I hit the ground.
Yep.
It could have been worse though, so at least you were okay.
Yeah,
That
at least
could've
you
been
were
my first
okay.
concussion. But anyway, you guys left off with instructions to go speak to the sheriff. Skylar would have been there just for convenience sake. Ward is back at the inn room because I was not gonna maintain two people. But you guys have been left with instructions to go speak to the sheriff, who Skylar would know is a woman named Kyra Feldane.
Be hot.
Of course.
Hold on, I'll get a screenshot of what she looks like.
I love you, Jamie.
I kind of love the resignation in your.
So, like, there's nothing to do but be resigned. There's no.
You have no recourse here.
I really don't.
Oh, for Jamie, because Jamie wasn't here. Cal also did sleep with the circus dude.
Oh fuck yeah. Good.
Get it.
Get it, gay boy.
I was gonna say good for Cal, but then I was like, no wait, Cal's a character in my game that I DM. Well, another game that I DM, and I was like, oh wait, they're both Cal.
They are both Cal.
They are both Cal, apparently. Cal's just out here doing their best.
Cal's just out here doing the circus man.
God.
You're not wrong, is the thing.
I know I'm not wrong.
Oh, we are slightly unhinged today, huh?
You all really are.
We're all sleep deprived, and this is not D&D, so we have to be.
We have to add that special unhinged sauce to our game, or else.
The special sauce.
Alright, excuse how weird and fucked up the edges are. I had to erase text that was there.
Oh?
Why she got turf bangs?
I mean, I would have
though.
called those. I would have called those anime girl bangs.
She do be cute though.
That is Sheriff Kyra Feldane. And Skylar, I almost said Victor, wrong blue dyke. Can't believe I fucked that up.
Imagine mixing up the two blue dykes in the game, who with similar
Imagine.
backstories, following the same deity. God,
5'11".
5'11".
How dare you mix them up?
I can't believe that I got that wrong. Sorry,
How
guys.
does-
I'll
how does
aim
that
to do
even
better in
happen?
the future.
How does that even happen, PK?
Rude.
I don't know. I have no excuse. It's pathetic. It really is. So y'all
You're
would
gonna-
know
Yeah.
that, or Skylar at least would know that this woman is probably big boy chilling at the town jail. And Skylar would also know how to get there. It's a decent walk from the circus grounds, which are technically outside of town, to get to the town jail, but you are welcome to head that way.
Okay, so just to clarify, so the Sphinx is still at the circus, right?
Hmm?
The Sphinx is who's being accused of murder, right?
The Sphinx has been accused of murder,
And
because
the
the body
still-
appeared to be mauled by a wild animal.
And the Sphinx is still back at the circus.
You have not seen the Sphinx with your eyes since
Oh,
last
okay.
night at the circus, but fuck.
You're okay.
Almara, who is the head of the circus, has stressed her belief in the Sphinx's innocence. Although she did reveal to you all that no, we don't actually keep a Sphinx in a cage. She's just hanging out. She's having a good time. She's not like imprisoned with us. She's here because she wants to be, and she doesn't live in the cage all the time. However,
Because we're
the
not
sheriff
fucking
definitely
insane.
thinks she lives in the cage all the time. So do not tell them that the Sphinx is out of the cage currently.
Okay. Also, because I wasn't here, I saw the body, correct?
No, you have not seen the body.
Okay.
You
Okay,
have
cool.
not seen anything. You've basically just been informed that there was a murder, and then told that the circus wanted to hire you. If you have any questions for Miss DeLucin at this point, because you weren't here, you can ask them now. But
Okay. Yeah, I would have first off, I would have asked to see the Sphinx's claws, if possible. Not for
See,
blood, to gauge size with.
You'd seen the Sphinx yesterday in enough detail. You were close enough to her. You probably know what size they are.
Were the claws extended? Because, cat claws retract.
I don't know how cats work, dude. You can't be asking me this shit when I don't know anything about sphinxes. Fuck.
Well, sphinxes are part cat, and cat claws retract.
They
The
probably
claws were out for the vibes.
Okay.
probably
That
it
makes
makes
sense.
sense. It would have made sense for the because we went and saw the Sphinx at the circus, like the end performance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
the
But
Sphinx
she
did try to
supposedly
trick the
supposedly got
audience.
out.
Yeah,
So
so
it makes sense that she would have done a big show of having her claws extended and.
yeah,
Okay. Cool.
So-
Cool.
we would have
Okay.
probably seen them at that point.
Okay. So, let's see. I would ask probably if anyone keeps generally keeps track of the Sphinx at all.
Almara would have told you. I mean, it is we keep track of her the way we keep track of all of our own in the circus. She is not something to be looked after like a dragon in a cage. In the
Yes,
zoo, she is one of our fellow performers.
Oh yes, no, I get that. I was just wondering if, if you tracked all your employees like that, rather, because
I
you
don't
know,
keep them under a guard. They're all
no,
people.
no, forgive me. What I mean is, you just generally make sure they're safe. What if they're not their coming and goings, but generally if when they get off the clock, on the clock, things like that.
Routine.
Yes, routine. There you go. Thank you.
We stick to a routine well enough. When Chersana is not performing, she is in her private wagon. Or
Okay.
she does when we are on the road, of course, it is different, but we don't.
And she has never shown aggression before, correct?
No more aggression than I feel towards the people who have wrongfully accused her.
He nods at that. Well, they nod at that one and say, yes, no, hopefully we'll catch you, whoever did this.
You'd better, it's what I'm paying you for.
Yes, no. Okay, and there's no one, there haven't been any lots of repeat customers and the like, because you travel a lot. There's been no one who you've seen multiple times in that period of, in these last few months, correct?
Not town to town so much. Nobody follows us except our own and some vendors from the traveling market, but not anybody I have noticed who's been tracking us or following us through multiple stops. Some people will come to the carnival a day or two or three even in a row, but not anybody from the previous town. And I mean, we've only been up for the one day before this happened, so no.
No groupies then.
No.
Okay. Well, there's no further questions I have right now, with information that I have about while I'm here, and about while I am here, about why I am here. Sorry, about why I'm here, and with what I know about what you've given me, I think I have enough information for now.
All right.
I will be in contact once will talk to the sheriff, and once we have more information. Rest up. Your compatriot will not see a jail cell or worse.
They'd be hard pressed to fit her.
Yes, no.
Almara nods and waves you off and returns into what looks like her own personal wagon.
Mhm. Yep. And then Skylar will back to the present.
We are now walking to the town jail.
Wee.
So, forgive me if I'm wrong. The first question that comes to mind of this is who stands to benefit from the murder?
I can think of a number of people. That's why I'm here, actually.
I mean, my gut is inheritance or looking into the business vacuum, but she kind of holds up a hand, just like, I don't entirely know these things.
Can't
Sorry, go ahead.
can't rule out the fact that maybe two birds with one stone.
Very possible. After
Motive for the actual murder, and then someone who also did not like the circus club, yeah?
correct. After we're done getting permission from the sheriff, we're going to have to go interview people associated with the deceased and potential enemies and people they may have crossed as of late, all that normal stuff, and perhaps look at the crime scene if possible. And hopefully a good look at the body.
All right. If you guys want to proceed directly to the town jail, it is bustling when you arrive. There are various town guard type folk. There are and all along the walk here, it's, maybe a 15-minute walk, there have been people panicking in the streets. Talking, gossiping, some crying. Not a great vibe in the town of Ilsurian at the moment. What do you guys
just
do
a
when you reach
murder.
the jail?
Yeah, as we're approaching, can I generally get out a vibe check on a sense motive, I guess, see if anyone seems off or like they're faking what's going on, faking their reaction, or maybe like they're here for an ulterior motive.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a sense motive check.
Yeah. Just scanning the crowd, will gramming them, if you will, as soon as I am within.
Yeah. Anybody as well could make either a sense motive or a perception at this point.
I would
Chris?
like
I will.
to. I can make another sense motive if someone wants to do a perception.
Okay, I just rolled a perception.
Okay, drop your things in the Roll20 chat for me, please.
Soot would not be good for perception, so he's gonna stay out of this.
Okay.
Mine could be better, but here it is.
Sense motive.
I don't
Fuck,
think a
where's the
negative
modifier?
1 would help in this situation, so he's just gonna chill.
I will do
Also,
a
could you
perception.
please write which you've done so I can keep it straight in my head? Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sending it again. Can you delete a Roll20 message or no?
No.
I don't think so.
It's okay. I can just see. I just
Uh,
need there to be some text indication.
Apparently, I rolled a persuade.
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 Okay. So I'm gonna do, I think, I'll do the perceptions and then the sense motives. There are, as a whole, let's start. Victor, there is a lot going on, and a lot of people, a lot of sounds, and you don't feel like it's just hard to take it all in, and you're like very focused on, let's just get to the jail, talk to the sheriff. The rest of this needs to wait. What else? Who else do we have for perception? Cal and Aya both did very well on perception. It does catch you. There's like a lot of people out right now. It's not like people are uneasy and staying inside their homes. Although you do notice there's nobody who seems to be alone. They are all in pairs or larger groups. And perhaps that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
And there does seem to be, I'm going to count this under perception, a lot of people keep looking up.
Like they're expecting something to swoop down and grab them.
Exactly, and as you pass by, like one of the louder conversations, you hear somebody talking about how there is this great four-legged beast flying all over town. And you move on past that, and you're like, is this true, or did somebody say it to somebody else who said it to somebody else, and well, now everybody thinks there was a great four-legged beast flying all over town.
Good old hysteria.
Sphinxes have wings, right?
Sphinxes do have wings.
Fuck.
Yeah. So, for the sense motives, that's 19 and 20. Okay, those are both really good. So, for the sense motives, you're Skylar, you were specifically looking for people who seemed like they were faking it, right?
Yeah, faking it, or it seems like they're an ulterior motive, putting on airs.
Okay. And your friend, was
I'm
it a general or was
doing-
it?
I'm doing my bullshit a little
Okay.
bit.
Cool.
To the extent that I can with a sense motive.
Yeah. So, are you guys just observing, or are you interacting with people as you go? That's gonna change this.
I am mostly observing, because it seems like. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, sorry.
Because it seems like people are in a panic, or appear to be in a panic, and I'm thinking that if I interact with them, they might, change. They might put up even more walls, yada yada yada.
And how about Fern?
Fern would talk to people.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
So, we're gonna sort of skim over that because I don't feel like role-playing 1,000 panicked townsfolk. But,
Yeah.
Skylar, from your just pure observation, it's some people, and this isn't like a specifically somebody's like this. Some people seem to like be whispering and hearing the news, and then trying to act more affected or more upset than they actually are. Like, maybe it's like you hear, oh, that guy I didn't like just died. Oh no! Oh, that's awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, in that kind of a way. But nothing in a like, oh, that guy just died? I'm so surprised by this. There's nothing on that level and nothing individual that you can pick out. Just overall, there are some who seem like genuinely horrified and upset, and some who are like seem more shaken up by the thought of a wild animal than they do about the death of the victim.
Yeah.
Fern, as you're talking with people, that what Skylar seems to be observing is confirmed, but when you interact with the people who are like genuinely panicked, you get some people who seem heartbroken because maybe they personally knew the victim, and you get some people who seem angry, and angry at the circus specifically. So, like, they seem like
misplaced anger.
Like, they're like the fucking circus full of all those con artists and scammers coming in, and now there's a wild animal on the loose and it's their fault. Fucking typical behavior, and they're pissed. So that's a vibe that you get from interacting with people more so.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be right back because I gotta pee.
Okay.
I also have to do that, so I will also be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Did I order coffee?
For investigation time. Do you want coffee?
I always want coffee.
Can you afford coffee?
I can. I just got paid.
Would coffee bring you joy?
It would.
Then
Order
get
yourself coffee.
Okay. I like this decision tree that we went through.
Parker, I'm still wilding over the classmate you were talking to. Classmate? But the person you
Yeah.
were talking to about your ADHD who went, oh, those would be really good traits for a bird. I was just like, what? Like,
For a bird?
Yeah, I was talking to this girl and I was explaining some of my because she was like, so like what is like she was curious about like ADHD and how it works, and I was like, well, it's a spectrum disorder, so it works different for everybody. So, but, like, here are my kind of symptoms. Like, not all of them, of course, but like, here are some examples from my own experience. And her reaction was to me like, oh, you're like a bird. And I was like, what? And she was like, you're kind of bad at being a human, but you'd be a really good bird. And I was like,
That's very
okay.
funny.
hey, Parker, you just started sounding kind of underwater.
Ah, I don't know why. Did nothing. Is it still underwater?
No, not as much.
Okay, I possibly might need to disconnect and reconnect then,
No, I
because you all...
heard it at first, but then the last
Is
sentence wasn't as underwater.
Better?
Slightly?
You're still a little distant, but it's not as.
Yeah, because before it was like you were cutting out every other syllable.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Is
Hello.
that better?
It is.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect because it's not better on my end.
Shannon has a weird relationship with microphones.
Stop that, Shannon.
Hello?
Hello.
Anyway, I got called a bird.
Nice.
God.
Called a bird in D Hall.
I mean, birds are pretty great.
This is also someone that I swear to God is probably neurodivergent.
Now that would make sense because, like, okay, so you know how some neurodivergent people they can only relate to things by relating them to things they understand or already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe they're related to birds and thought, hey, this person would make a good bird.
I don't know.
Hello. I returned.
Hello.
I kept
Okay.
describing the way like executive dysfunction works and the way time blindness works, and she was like, I mean, but I get that too. Like, are you sure that's like an ADHD? And I was like,
Oh
no.
Like, babe, I think you might have
That
some neurodivergency.
Yeah. That has the same energy of people talking to their parents about being queer, and then the parents saying, "Oh yeah, everyone has feelings about X gender, or everyone wants to be this
Well, you mean
this
like my
sexuality."
mom?
Yeah.
God.
Oh yeah, everyone has feelings for their girlfriends at some point.
Or it's like, or everyone wants to be a boy or boy/girl at some point. It's like,
Are you sure about that?
Obviously,
Yeah.
I don't know what the specific example from your mother is.
So.
You're so
The
close.
specific, you pretty much just quoted my mother's specific example. I tried to come out to her when I was 13, and she was like, "How do you know you're a lesbian?" And I was like, "Well, I've had crushes on girls before." And she was like, "Oh, but everyone thinks they have crushes on their girlfriends when they're young." And I was like, "Huh?"
No.
Incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
Incorrect, Parker's mother.
Not quite.
Yeah, so this girl was like, I tried to explain to her what, she was like, what's the difference between a hyperfixation and just really liking something? And I tried to explain it to her, and she was like, that doesn't make any sense. That's the way, like, I feel about things that I really love. And I was like,
Bud.
She's like the inverse of that. Either ADHD needs to stop being relatable or I need to see a doctor.
Me. Me when
Alright.
when Minecraft.
Win
Oh.
Minecraft.
Real quick, unrelated to anything, but I just remembered. I tend to call everyone babe, so if anyone's uncomfortable with that, please let me know. Because I will end up calling you babe unless I am stopped.
It's
Um,
fine.
That's fine.
Babe
Okay.
Rice.
Right.
I just remembered that I do that and wanted to make sure that that was not uncomfy for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciated.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry if you hear me crunching toast. I haven't eaten yet today. Well, I did, but
You're good.
not dinner.
You are good. Take care of yourself and crunch the toast.
Hunger.
Crunch.
To the sheriff now?
Yes, the
Sheriff.
sheriff now.
Yes.
So, I'm assuming Skylar's taking the lead going into the jail just because they are the one who has been there before.
They're the one who has been there before. They're the one who has a positive working relationship with the sheriff. And at least some of us are in, I don't fucking talk to cops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whereas Skylar's whole deal is they have to talk to cops.
All Skylar know is talk to cops. So,
Talk
as
to
you
talk
enter,
to cops, sleep with women.
as you enter, the jail, as it were, it is packed with people, mostly people in uniform, who sometimes sleep with cop. I mean, do what you want to do. Your standards are pretty low.
Oh my god.
Listen, when they look like Sheriff Feldane,
Are you gonna try and fuck the sheriff?
God.
not right
How
now.
are you trying to fuck the sheriff?
I mean, Skylar has definitely given her eyes, probably, but hasn't really done anything.
Oh my god.
I have
You
blood
got.
proof.
Why are y'all
Or-
such sluts?
On that,
You know why?
on that-
It was in
on
my
that
backstory
note-
document.
On that note, Skylar would have seen Victor do some strong things and take control of the lizard situation pretty handily.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
Victor
yeah, I
was
know.
hot last session.
Skylar would have just been standing in the back, watching it happen, and eyebrow raised, nod of approval, and thinking, "Huh, they're hot. I wonder why."
I wonder why they're. God, Skylar, you can't just ask someone why they're hot. So, the
Why are
sluts
you-
walk into a police station, and it is busier, Skylar, than it was when you had first entered, just to have your conversation with the sheriff and get facts about the other case you were working on. It is packed. There are town guards talking to each other. There are town guards trying to escort what seem to be regular townsfolk out of the jail because a lot of them seem to be in there having something to say. There is just a lot of busyness and a lot of raised voices, but as you make your way through, the guards recognize you and don't seem to question your presence, even though you do have an entourage now. And you can make your way back to where the sheriff's office is fairly easily.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
When you get there, she does seem to be deep in conversation with someone you know to be a higher up. You didn't catch his name previously, but they are talking, and neither of them seem happy. Perhaps that is obvious to state. But when you arrive at the door, Sheriff Feldane looks up and says, "Oh, hello, Miss Locke. I'm afraid this is really a bad time. There's been developments unrelated to your work, and
Yes. No. I'm quite aware. Sheriff, that's actually why we're here. You see, we've been tasked with finding out who the perpetrator of these crimes are, and that's why we've come to you.
Sorry. These crimes meaning Archivan Walder's murder.
This crime rather. This crime.
Well, who in the world has tasked you with that?
Well, the people of the circus have known this Sphinx for quite some time, and they believe her to be a rather upstanding person who has never really acted out in any sort of hostile manner the entire time they've known her. And, well, they believe she deserves a fair go at, a fair go at all of this before the lynch mob comes for her.
All right.
Yep.
First of all,
And
Joe, what was that?
I was out of character. Really? That's how you're putting this?
Yeah,
mean-
whoever's standing next to Victor sees her kind of roll her eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
like
I mean,
this
people.
isn't just
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, this isn't just Skylar, right? Like the rest of us are here.
You
Yes.
guys are all here,
Yeah.
yes. It's basically Skylar's. You're all just sort of inside the door to her office, and she is looking at all of you, by the way. She's like, back to Skylar, look over at one of you, back to Skylar, look over it. Like, she's trying to memorize your faces because she doesn't know you. But,
Yeah. Yeah, and then right, sorry. Yes, no, these are my newest compatriots. Ward, unfortunately, is back at the inn taking care of a few things. And these folks I met, well, yesterday night, and they too have been tasked with this whole investigation. And sometimes more than one head is better than one. I was going to say two heads are better than one, but there's more than two heads here. So
all right. Take a pause.
Shylar,
Every-
I'm sorry, ma'am. Shylar has phrased this a little bit oddly. The circus folk have asked us to help them as a neutral third party, as we are neither of the town or of the circus. We have not been asked specifically to, go on to clear the circus's name. We have instead been asked to provide some sort of neutrality in this situation.
yeah, if I had been here, I would have said that because I didn't know that was the whole deal. Yeah, sorry.
You're good.
And then she would say, and the circus, of course, would like some sort of grace period before you come for the Sphinx.
All right, hold on. Everyone, just... Jerry, go deal with Agnes, all right? And shut the door on your way out. And the guard who is next to her sort of awkwardly shuffles his way around you guys to get out the door. Oh, okay. Before we go any farther, let me say there has not been an official accusation brought against any member of the circus. I do not intend to go leaping into this without ascertaining more details. I do not intend to arrest anyone from the circus if I can possibly avoid it. I need to know who the fuck you all are. If names, please, would do nicely. Pointing to everyone who is not Skylar.
Yeah.
And she'll start by pointing at Fern.
Fern, it's
Fern,
a pleasure to meet you.
I wish I could say the same.
Sorry.
that was meaner than she meant it to be, and you see on her face she does wince a little bit, but then she turns her eyes to whoever is standing next to Fern, and I'll let you guys decide the order from there.
Fern has, absolutely no external reaction to that at all.
Okay.
Iaclesum.
And she's writing this down on a piece of paper, by the way, as well.
Yeah. No last name.
All right.
Calliope Jones,
Calliope
That's
Jones.
at your service.
We'll see about that.
Skylar class for the next person
Is-
to introduce themselves.
It's just Soot left, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Sit needs to introduce himself to the sheriff.
Oh, I was sorry. I was listening to you guys, but I didn't know that I was supposed to. Sid will just kind of give his hat a little bit of a tip and just say so.
All right. So, what I'm gathering, and forgive me if I get details wrong, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things in the past 5 minutes, much less this morning. The circus has hired you on as a neutral group of what, investigators?
Well, I'm an
Yes.
investigator. They're
We
here to
we have
help.
also been asked to investigate. We may not be investigators in particular, but you know, we're not too bad at it.
Nocturne, go ahead and make me a your friend check. Just
Hey, your
for
friend.
this it is something that he has.
Mm-hmm. Oh?
28.
Yo.
28.
I rolled a 19 on the dice and it's plus 9. I did the math right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh, your friend.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
God
I will
bless.
keep this in mind. The sheriff nods when you say that, Fern. It says, and you were hired on by the circus as a collective? Who, by the way, would have taken the letter from Elmara?
I think Aya would have taken it.
Oh, I was just gonna say
I'd have to
Skylar would have, since she's the investigator.
I think she would have given it to Aya, because they had a closer conversation. I know you weren't there, Jamie, but I'm just gonna say it was given to Aya.
Yep.
So the sheriff asks, so was it Mr. Leeson, or was it another representative of the circus who has tasked you with?
Was Almara? Is that the name? But out of character.
Yes,
I
it is
forget the
Elmara.
name, but Fern would remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't remember. I do not. Almara, and I
Deleuson.
think we were given the last name, but
Yes, that is what the sheriff asked. If it was Miss Deleuson, you know that to be Elmara Deleuson.
yes, it was
Please,
Miss
Bishop.
Leeson. She gave us this as a official record of intent. And Aya is going to I think she's just going to put the letter on the desk. She's not going to directly hand it over.
All right. The Sheriff Feldane will take the letter, open it, skim through it, close it again, and say, all right. Additional investigators. As you said, Miss Locke, I suppose more than one head is better than one. And I've got enough on my plate with the town's reaction to this murder. All right. So, investigators it is. I suppose you'll be wanting the basic details of what happened.
Yes, that would be much appreciated. Also, if possible, might we see the body?
Yes, that can be arranged if the widow is cooperative. She is in quite a dreadful state at the moment, I'm afraid. But we can arrange that, I'm sure. So, the victim, Archivin Walder, he was the town, he was a moneylender, pawnbroker as well. He owned the Locked Box. You may have seen it. I don't know how recent you are to town. Miss Locke, you've surely seen it. He was known to have attended the circus last night and was there alone. And when he did not return home, his wife asked her husband's personal guards to help search for him. They found him killed in the bushes on the way back to his home. And whilst that was occurring, best as we can tell, thieves, presumably connected to this whole affair, broke into the locked box and killed the only guard who remained there and made off with numerous valuables. We haven't quite ascertained exactly how valuable they were, but two humanoid figures were spotted fleeing from the locked box by the guards when they returned. But other than that, we don't have much besides the fact that his body was mauled by some sort of creature.
Oh, sorry, I was typing this out. Does it look like she's finished when she says that, or?
She does look like she is finished for now.
Okay. Skylar will say, yes, no, thank you for that, Sheriff. Now, if you don't mind, I have a few questions. How familiar were you with the deceased?
With Walder, everyone knows Walder. I've been the sheriff of this town for 15 years. He's been around for God knows how long. Walder and I, we weren't close, but we knew each other.
Okay, that's quite useful. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about him then? Sorry. I know I just asked that, but I had to be sure you knew him first before, proceeding with questions. Otherwise, yeah.
Go right ahead, Miss Locke.
They pull out a quill and a paper and say, are you aware if they had any enemies, or if they had crossed anyone in recent memory?
He was, to be perfectly frank, he was a moneylender. Some people were in debt to him, but he was not an unkind man. He didn't stir up conflict for the sake of conflict. He was doing a job.
Okay, thank you for that. And are you aware of anyone who would have anything to gain from his death?
The thieves who robbed his shop, no doubt.
Rather,
Agnes,
anyone close to him.
his wife Agnes, of course, is inheriting his estate, but that woman wouldn't hurt a fly, and she's truly, truly distraught by what has happened. Understandably, I think.
Yes, understandably. He didn't have any relatives in town. Did he? Business partners?
Not that I'm aware of.
Has he been acting unusual as of late?
I can't say I've conversed with him as of late, but I have not heard anything from anyone who seemed to suggest that there was anything unusual about his demeanor.
And do you believe that? Have you heard rumors or whispers about his business falling on hard times or running into any troubles?
No, I rather think I would have mentioned that earlier if that had been the case, but no.
Okay. Well, I don't think this is. You would have any reason to be aware of this, or believe so, rather. But there's no, you don't believe there's any connection um, to this, as about why I'm here, right?
To the other case? No, I mean I rather expect it's your job to tell me what the other case is connected to. That's not something that I am personally involved with, it's
Yes, no,
what the fuck?
Poncho. Yes, I had been
Ponch.
meaning to look into that. However, I was dragged to the circus this morning. Sorry, and now I'm investigating something else. Hopefully, I can kill two birds with one stone. Okay, thank you. That's really all I have right now. That she looks back at her compatriots. Is there anything you would like to ask the sheriff while we're here?
DK had to step out for a second.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Good old Poncho.
There's something I want to ask, but I don't know how to actually transfer it from thought into words, even in a vague sense.
What are the vibes?
Oh. Nope, it's gone.
Yeah.
So apparently no.
Hmm.
I had the thought of, oh, there's something, and then it's gone.
So
Victor has
very
decided-
sorry about that, guys. I did
Okay.
not.
Yeah,
Okay.
you have to do kitten wrangling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Victor has
Fern-
decided to tell me she has no patience for moneylenders.
I love that for Victor.
Fern has a question.
Fern is welcome to ask a question.
Are there, so unfortunately I'm not super familiar with the area. Is there any kind of creature that might live in the area that would also be capable of producing the wounds?
Well, nothing regionally specific. I mean, we don't really get wild animals in the town. That's part of why the Sphinx is, I think, the obvious target for the townsfolk. And it's not like we have a thriving bear or big cat population. We're a coastal town, so it's not that I'm aware of. Although if somehow we've been proved wrong and this really is just a dreadful coincidence with a wild animal attack, then well, I suppose it is what it is. But
And this is internal. Is there any kind of weapon that could produce wounds similar to that of large claws that Fern would know about?
Yeah, they're clawed weapons, right?
Yeah.
make a what's a good knowledge check to make you make for this?
Knowledge murder.
I would take a knowledge history or even a knowledge local.
Can I
Or
also
a
attempt
heal check.
that?
Yes.
Or a
Anybody
what?
can attempt that.
Or a what
knowledge
check?
history, knowledge local, or heal.
My heel's higher. Can I do that?
What's
sort of think about the wounds specifically and what might cause them. Not that you've seen the body yet, but as you have heard them described.
Would Skylar be aware of weapons that can do this, or do I have to make a check for that?
You would have to
rolled
make a check.
it.
Okay, let me go to
That's
my
okay.
sheet.
I rolled a 6 on the dice. For heal, that's a 10. For the knowledge checks, that would be a 7. So I don't think either of those pass anything.
My brain fried with spelling. I don't know why I put that space though.
With the 10, I will say you thinking, just logically thinking about it, it wouldn't be hard to assume that there's some way somebody could have a clawed gauntlet or something. There must, sure, even though if you can't think of specific examples, there must be ways to mimic that kind of pattern. The history checks. And then a local. Okay, yeah. The history checks. Clawed gauntlets absolutely are a thing. Even a really weird, fucked up, serrated knife could imitate claws to the untrained eye. Both of you can kind of think about weapons that would mimic that vibe. Victor's knowledge local, you know that those weapons, from what you've seen, they're more novelty, right? They're more for a particular effect. Maybe there's a specific warrior who is known for using a weapon like that, but it's not the sort of thing that your average Joe Schmo in the town of Hilsurian is just going to be able to pick up from the general store. So it's definitely, those are a niche thing. So if that is what was used, it must be someone who specifically
has one.
Has something like that. And even though Cal didn't roll, I'm going to give this to you because Cal, you know
Has
that
claws?
people with claws exist.
Cal literally is standing there with claws that extend from his gloves or their gloves.
So, Exhibit A, wild animal is a possibility. Person with clawed gauntlet is a possibility. Person with claws, also a possibility.
Yeah, Skylar has absolutely gotten lots of pig carcasses tested, weapons laceration effects on them, had people claw at them, etc., etc.
So there's a lot of options here.
Yeah.
For you guys as a whole, in terms of what could have caused this.
Okay, cool. One last thing Skylar will say. So before we depart, Sheriff Eldane, might you give us the address to the widow's home?
Yes, I'll just send Jerry to take you to the locked box, and you can have a look around yourselves. Just a reminder that as you have chosen to take on this role within the investigation, your actions are going to reflect on your employers. So be mindful. I don't know.
Yes, no, of course.
Jerry comes back in. Would you take these investigators to the locked box, please, and see that they can speak with Agnes if she's feeling up to it? And Jerry nods. And she shoos you out of her office.
Okay. Poggers.
Poggers indeed.
To clarify, the body is with the widow?
The body has been taken to the temple of Aristil. Which
light as the widow.
The sheriff would have told you if you asked about the specific location of the bodies. However, seeing them can also be arranged. But because Skylar had asked about the widow specifically, that is where sheriff
we're going first.
Yeah, and when Skylar asked about seeing the body, the sheriff said to ask the widow first, and
for permission to, I don't know, look at her husband's corpse.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just wanted that clarification. Thank you.
Anjo.
Yes.
Anjo?
Oh, Anjo.
He sat down.
Oh.
No, he sat down.
Oh,
He's
man.
tall. He's tall. little.
He's so
Oh
baby.
my god. He's so
just son of a
adorable.
bitch. He was
He's
just
still
fucking
so small.
Him.
Oh, baby man.
He's to him.
It's a baby.
No balls
Hello,
punch.
Poncho.
He's getting long.
Oh my gosh, and he
Oh
just
my
lets
God.
you hold him. What a
God.
good
I love-
boy.
I loved his taxidermy impression.
How is No Balls
Oh,
Paunch
Paunch.
doing?
He's so, but No Balls Paunch is doing all right.
Good.
Recovering. I know it's so hard to be
Squirm.
you. It's so hard to be a baby boy.
He's
Fucking
so
gets
cute.
fed all the time and gets cuddles whenever he wants and has people play with him every day. You live a difficult life.
He
You
does.
do. It's true.
Yeah, he's a baby, of course. Like, he's just a creature.
He's taking outrage.
Oh,
got
him.
Biting, chomping violence.
Yeah. Oh, he's so cute. My kitty has a blue jay plushie too, except it's long, so he can kick it more.
That thing used to have a speaker in it that made the most god awful noise, but we did surgery on it, so it was
Oh god.
Fair enough,
There
honestly.
it goes.
anyway.
Oh, my boy's yelling. Hold on, he wants in.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Yelly boy.
Here, let's see if I can. Excuse my looks. Let's see if I can get the boy. If it will work, maybe? I don't know. My camera's not turning on. Come here, Lance.
Says no camera
Hi,
for
buddy.
you.
It might be because of my
Camera
OBS
ban.
settings. Let me see.
No camera for you.
Let me see.
I can't.
Hold on. I'm gonna turn that off. Maybe it'll work now. Nope. I have to remove that. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Hi, Lance. Yeah, let's see if this will work now. Here you go.
Hello! It's your boy!
Yeah,
Oh my
boy.
goodness!
Boy,
Hi, buddy.
He.
He's purring.
it's your fluffy little man.
Hi, buddy. Oh, he's melting.
In
I
the
love
morning.
him.
Are you melting? Are you melting? Yeah, he's melting. You're so dramatic. I kiss your face. Hi, buddy.
He's just little. Well,
He
except
just
he's not
rubbed his
little.
face.
He's
He bigger, but he's still little. I think he's still little.
He little in your heart.
Yeah, he's small floof. You good, buddy. Yeah. Him just
Love
rub him
him.
face in my hand. He's so funny. You're gonna fall over, bud. Where are you going?
BRB, one sec, I have to go pee.
Alright. Nancy. Come here.
Okay, what are we doing next? Sorry.
Talking to the widow. I believe.
Jerry has been instructed to take you to the locked box, and that is where you understand Agnes Walder, who is the deceased's wife, to currently be. As you guys are walking out of the jail, Poncho,
Poncho
as you guys
arrives.
are walking out of the jail, buddy, I wish you wouldn't. I have so many cuts already. Please don't. As you guys are walking out of the jail, Jerry sort of turns to you and he says, "Did you guys want to go right to the locked box, or did you want to go see where the body was found first?"
I think where the body was found first, and then go talk to.
Alright. I'll take you there. You get the understanding that Jerry is a little bit of a quiet type around strangers. He doesn't
enough.
really say anything on the way over
Mm-hmm.
to the location. Alright. Jerry is taking you to where the body was found.
Okay.
Alright. And you get there, it's surrounded by guards in the fantasy version of crime scene tape. But you guys are allowed within the crime scene tape boundaries, and you see bushes, and it's on a dirt road. The bushes are off to the side, and they've been displaced where you clearly see the body must have been because of all the blood there. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I check for something very specific?
Go ahead and tell me what you want to check for.
I don't know what this check would be, but does the displacement of the shrubbery look like the body was thrown into these bushes, or like it was dragged here?
Like thrown
Or
in,
possibly like it
pushed
fell
under.
here?
Go ahead and make, I'll call it a survival check for that one.
Sorry, I know that's a weirdly specific.
No, that's okay. I want to make sure I think survival check is like for tracking, so that makes sense to me. Anybody else can make survival or
17. So I'll just send that to you.
Yeah, I was looking to again. I want to will grab the area. Look for anything out of place, anything aside from the bushes, anything that I don't know is no or unusual. Anything that would just ring my brain as curious or
let's get a survival check from everyone, actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Could Soot also do like a detect magic sort of situation too?
Soot absolutely could do a detect magic.
Sweet. I'm gonna. Oh god, I rolled a 2 and then a -1 for that survival, so a 1.
I rolled a natural 20 plus 4 is 24.
Oh my god. Okay, everybody drop your rolls in the chat.
God, Soot don't fucking see shit.
Victor's strategy is going to be Victor's going to do two things, and we can do
I put it in the wrong chat.
Do them in order as you want to do them, PK.
Let's start. Soot, I'm afraid you get distracted by some ringing in your ear or something of that nature.
Oh man.
And you do not pay attention.
Also, what would be the equivalent of like an investigation check?
There isn't one.
Okay.
I nearly opened up Soot's private channel on stream.
Investigation was made up by Wizards of the Coast to manufacture more intelligence skills.
So just
Because Pathfinder doesn't have like 50 million offshoots of knowledge and then linguistics and law.
That's the point. That's the point, Joe. Wizards of the Coast scrapped most of what 3.5 and Pathfinder used intelligence for. Skill ranks and all the knowledge skills and linguistics and a bunch of skills. So intelligence is a severely underpowered stat in 5th edition. So they were like, okay, let's make perception, but it's intelligence based.
Yeah, and not only that, like most DMs do not use passive investigation, which is kind of sad.
I don't think investigation should be a skill. I think it's pointless. I think perception covers investigation, and the idea that investigation and perception should be separate things is one that I do not subscribe to. So
I solidly disagree, but we can have this debate later.
We will fight at another time. So Soot doesn't see shit. Cal, you are a little bit distracted by like how much blood this guy clearly lost. Like, geez, this does not look like it was fun. Victor, what were you looking for? And then I'll tell you what you get.
Well, the first thing she would have done is she would have over where it's very clear the body fell, or at least where a lot of the blood happened. She's gonna pull out her holy symbol and as if giving like sort of like just a gentle like God blessing. Gonna do her prayer.
Yeah. All right. And to everybody else, I cannot stress this enough. It is Victor follows the goddess of lust and vengeance. And so basically she goes up, and as she prays, which is a silent prayer, but still, those of you familiar with Calistria are like, either she's praying that there's like vengeance for this man's death, or she's praying that he's getting it in the afterlife. And honestly, both are valid.
Yeah.
Jesus. I hope
Get
you
it.
fuck well.
I hope heaven comes with a lot of sex, King.
Jesus.
All right, so that's your first thing that you're doing. How about, do you say you had another thing?
The other thing was she was going to take a bit more of a wider sort of glance around, like instead of like, because I assume Skylar's like doing the specific.
Oh no, I'm doing
scene.
not only I'm taking a look at Skylar's nose, just looking at the crime scene, everything around, people who seem to be lurking, like everything.
Victor was going to focus a little bit more on the larger scope of like what's around, what are like movement areas.
Yeah,
All
same
right.
with Skylar.
Could someone get in and out?
So, Victor, with a 14, you do notice clawed tracks on this dirt road leading to around where the body must have fallen. And furthermore, you notice that they don't, as you follow the tracks sort of back and away, you notice that they don't come from anywhere. They just sort of start, as if a creature could have flown and landed and then begun walking. And as you follow them away, it's the same thing. They stop abruptly.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
This is going to be weird. Do the claw marks look like they would belong to something with 2 feet, 4 feet? Or what the gait would match the width, rather, with the width of both the paws and the distance between the paws?
I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
I'm going in ascending order. So Aya, you're looking specifically at the bushes, and the way it looks with a 17, that's pretty good. It does look like it was a fall. It doesn't look like he was dragged under the bushes to get there. It looks like the bushes were crushed beneath him as he fell to them. Jamie, Skylar, so you also notice the tracks, and as you're sort of looking in on the tracks, you see the same thing Victor saw. You see that they stopped, and as you follow them back, you see that they started abruptly, and you think, oh, so something had a way of getting here that didn't walk along the ground. When you actually make me, in addition to your survival, make me a knowledge nature for your quadruped versus biped question.
Yeah. Also, there are no humanoid tracks right near, like noticeable ones that seem to be lead up to or near the.
As you're glancing around, you're not seeing humanoid tracks.
Okay. Knowledge nature.
I mean, presumably that would be the tracks for the people who like found the body.
There are tracks. Sorry, I phrased that wrong. There are humanoid tracks places. There are not tracks leading directly to
nothing that would betray the. Yeah. Okay. 11 plus 9 for 20.
Okay, dirty 20 on your nature check. You're not the most well versed with clawed creatures and also the walking patterns of bipeds and quadrupeds, but it doesn't necessarily look. If this is a quadruped, it's a very awkward gait, and if it's a biped, it's also a very awkward gait. It doesn't seem natural for either option, so it maybe almost looks like whichever one this creature was, it was trying to appear as though it was the other one.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. And then Fern with your natural 20.
Hi.
Victor and Skylar scan over the tracks, notice them, inspect them, move on. Aya's in the bushes. Soot is a little bit distracted. Cal is looking at the blood. You stop and you look at one of the tracks. And you think, these don't look like the paws of the Sphinx. They don't look like lion's paws. And furthermore, you remember the Sphinx. She must have weighed at least 600 pounds. And if she was landing from flight, these tracks should have been far, far deeper. The depth of the tracks are not correct if this was the Sphinx. This looks like a much lighter creature, and there's no way they were coming in from flight. And with that in your mind, you're thinking, okay, so what else could it possibly be? You look around and you see a little farther back, away from the tracks, you see it almost looks as if the dirt has been swept. And closer to the tracks, it looks like it has been done more carefully so as to not appear swept, but farther away, it looks like somebody got sloppy. The dirt has been swept to obscure something, possibly other tracks. But one thing you know for damn sure, a Sphinx did not land and attack this man.
Okay.
And that's what you
So,
get.
Another quick question is about inventions. Plaster, because I don't know when plaster was invented. Does plaster exist?
No.
Okay. Would there be anything that exists that would be that we could use to get a replica of these paws, or would it just have to be down to drawing?
Nothing that you have on you would do for and nothing that you have with you, I will say, just because I don't think you travel with a full forensic science kit.
No.
That would be a lot more expensive for a level 1 character.
That would be expensive and heavy, and yeah.
It's just
but
not something I am giving you at level 1 in any case.
Yeah.
Maybe later you'll get a magic
magic lab.
Forensic science kit.
Would the sheriff's department have anything like that?
You'd have to ask, but it's not something that is a common tool. We're not really in this time period in terms of how I believe D&D to be. We're not really to the place where forensic science is actually a thing.
Kind of like how Sherlock Holmes in the books is the first one to start doing forensic science, kind of like
it's just not very
okay. Especially in a small town like this, right? Yeah.
No.
Skylar, if he has time, will take a moment to sketch the paws.
They can do that. Ren, what were you saying?
I asked about the detect magic thing, if I could do that.
Detect magic, yes.
Yeah.
You did detect magic.
No, it's okay.
It's
okay. I rolled a 1 on my survival, so obviously it was gonna get overlooked a bit. I'm like, yeah.
I
just wanted to wait so that Skylar could get some questions out.
Apart from the auras you have already noticed from your companions, you do not notice anything, and you know that detect magic auras tend to fade after a number of minutes if they're not extremely strong.
Gotcha.
So
he has another equally as unhappy expression on his face as he did 10 minutes beforehand. With his natural 1 survival and whatever the else fuck is going on.
So you all have gathered information of some sort. If you guys would like to convene with each other and share it, or just keep to yourself, that's up to you.
I think Skylar would notice at least Victor looking at the paw prints. Because Skylar, Victor's right there, and I think Fern might have looked at them, but then started looking at the go to look at the swept one. So they're not immediately leaving Skylar's vision as they're sketching this. So I think
Is anyone
sorry, go ahead.
is anyone actively initiating a let's talk about what we've seen conversation?
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
I think
about
Aya's
to do.
definitely going to.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm about to do. Skylar would say, so these polls, they're very awkward. Not like the sphinxes at all. They're as if someone's trying to pretend to be a quadrupedal creature rather than.
I will specify. It also looks like it could be a quadruped,
Or
not
biped.
like
You don't
trying
have the
to look like a biped,
Yeah.
and you don't know that they're not a sphinx's paws.
yeah
So I
you
was
don't
gonna
have
say
the
that.
information Fern does.
I know. I just thought that yeah. And she'll also say, and it appears that if it appears that they're either trying to pretend to be a biped or a quadruped. Either way, they're very awkward and not right.
Well,
Hey,
they're not as
Star.
sphinxes at all.
Oh,
Now, see, look at them. Come over here to the place where, I'm putting this. Fern, as they say this, does air quotes, where the Sphinx landed. Look at the indentation. Sphinxes are like 600 pounds. There's no way a Sphinx landing would leave such little of an indent. And the paws, they aren't deep enough either.
huh.
And if over here you look, they were doing a pretty good job of dusting their footprints away, I gotta say. But right near the end, look, they get sloppy. You can see this has pretty clearly been waved away. Something was pretending to be the Sphinx, and pretty intentionally too.
I will also mention, related to that, the body was either thrown or dropped into the shrubbery. It doesn't. You don't get crushed patterns like that without.
I was also not able to find any. God, I can't get. Okay, give me 1 second. Wasn't able to find anything magical lingering around either.
She'll just give them all a smile, like an approving smile and appreciative nod, and say, "Yes, no, good eyes, everyone." Especially this.
It does.
Go ahead.
It does leave us with one problem, however. Even if it's not a landing sphinx, the tracks do start there.
Yes, no, there's a number of ways that can happen. Like Fun pointed out, the tracks were covered up right here, and there's also teleportation. There's there's just someone. It's ridiculous, but someone could easily drop someone else right there. There's spells. There's
I'm aware of all that. My point was that whoever did this is capable of at least some level of magical or non-magical deception, whether that is teleportation.
She
It
nods.
conforms.
Yes, no, that's quite correct. Yes, no, the depth. You're right. The depth of these paw prints is not what you'd expect of a half-a-ton creature. Even in this, like how hard is the dirt? Hard, you have the road, right? So the dirt would be hard packed.
It's not. If you remember, not last night, but the night before, when you all arrived in town, it had been raining extremely heavily.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that'd be.
With that knowledge, the tracks would have been sunk deep.
Okay. Yeah.
Because mud fucking.
Yeah, she'll say, "Oh yes, especially in this weather." That good eye. So Fun.
So do we want to have a look and see if there's anything left?
Question. Does in character, does Shylar almost make that mistake with the name?
Well, the soot thing?
Yeah.
Or no, that was just me.
Okay, I want to make sure, because if that was in character, that was going to affect a couple things.
No, that was just me.
Okay.
Do we want to see if there's anything we can find under what wasn't as well covered?
Yes, no, we should probably go look at those prints. At least tell us what kind of, person they're dealing with. Their weight, probably their height, um, heritage, possibly.
I will say what Fern showed you, it was less that they did a poor job of sweeping the footprints and more that they did a poor job of covering up the fact that the road had been swept.
Yeah.
So there are not really footprints to investigate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can we gather anything looking closely at where they were swept over? If we looked more closely, or to
The
just be,
The fact that they were swept at all and indicating that there was definitely a cover up, plus the fact that you now know this was definitely not the Sphinx, is, I'm telling you as a DM, pretty much the limit of what you're getting from this section, and that was very, very good. You all rolled
Oh yeah,
extremely
yeah, no, it's
well.
very, yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
So,
okay. So I would say no. I think it's best we can have a closer look once we talk to the widow. We should probably not keep her, or keep this investigation or prolong
Okay.
it as yes.
I will be right back. I have to make a phone call. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Take what time you need.
Good for Fern having really high survival.
Well, I did roll a 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's fair. I should invest in survival in the future, but that's for a future problem.
I can't invest in survival. So,
I mean, you can put skill points. You just won't get the cool extra bonus from it.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I don't have
really?
the. I don't. That's one of the few.
Oh,
things
you can
my class
invest skill
doesn't have.
points to whatever?
You can invest skill points into whatever as long as the skill does not have an asterisk next to it. You can only do the asterisk skills if you have that as a class.
Okay.
Oh!
That works.
So
Okay.
Awesome.
survival is
Yeah.
not an asterisk skill. So you could put as many points into survival you want, baby.
Yeah.
If I put fucking anything into diplomacy, I'm gonna have a fucked up modifier.
Oh.
Oh God.
But if
What's
you
your
didn't
diplomacy?
My diplomacy is currently I get a +2 to everybody but Victor. On top of on top of the already +4 I get for my charisma.
Oh, nice.
So if that is, I can put like skill rank. If I put skill ranks into that, I will get my class bonus. So if I put a skill rank into that, that becomes a 10 compared to the your friend modifier, which is a 9. But that check does something different than a diplomacy does.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Mine's
now,
currently
if
an
you
11.
to finish off the explanation, if you don't have linguistics as a class skill, you cannot put rank.
Yeah, I was wondering. That's actually the example I was just seeing.
Yeah.
Have linguistics as a class skill, I'm saved.
Yeah, I have linguistics as a class skill, and I was invested. It did have things into it, but then I realized that investigation doesn't exist, so I needed to put it into perception. So I switched it for linguistics for perception.
Oh shit, my computer's not plugged in. I should do that. I'm glad
Linguistics
it
is
warned me.
a weird. Linguistics is a weird skill because every skill rank you put into it, you get a new language, which is
Yeah.
wild to me.
I love it.
Very poggers.
I feel like Skylar and fucking Victor are gonna like be in an arms race for languages.
Yeah, I'm trying to make Skylar like, how a lot of people put a lot of their skill points into mostly one thing. I'm gonna be giving them up between a few things because she has to be good at quite a few things. Linguistics is one of them. But I am gonna get sense motive and diplomacy to stupid high levels.
I
So
every single time as I level as much as I can is going into the fucking your friend check.
Sense is like use magic device, intimidate, and arcana is like his big ones. Oh yeah, and bluff also. Very good at those.
I am really good at diplomacy, perception, being your friend, and sense motive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're a friend.
Victor's best skill is knowledge nobility.
Incredible.
Oh, man. You know
Course
them
it
nobles.
So true. So true. Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry about
Hello.
that.
Hey.
It's only because my my knowledge skills shook out in a very specific way.
Mm-hmm.
You also got like all the knowledge skills from your class features, right?
I have half of them.
Mm.
I don't have dungeoneering or engineering or geography.
Yeah, anybody got knowledge engineering? Because that's going to be crucial for solving this mystery, and you'll be fucked without it.
I actually do have.
Well, I
actually
have
had
a...
put things into that. Sorry,
I was just gonna say, I've got a 3 in there, that's not bad.
Yeah, I was like,
Nice.
Victor's, even the ones she doesn't have a class skill in are pretty good.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah,
intelligence
same.
is not
This
bad.
knowledge engineering check is 35, so you'd better get grinding.
Shit.
Yeah,
On
I
the
have max
grind.
intelligence, so yeah, I have an okay score at that. I even dungeoneering, but I'm probably not going to put anything into dungeoneering if I'm going to be honest.
Hmm.
Dungeoneering does not make sense as a skill for Skylar to me.
Nope. Skylar is like, of course crimes happen in dungeons, murders happen in dungeons, or dungeons. I don't need to investigate that.
Alright. So, you guys have inspected. Do you share your information with your sort of town guard escort, Jerry? Or do you keep it amongst yourselves?
If he's listening, Skylar isn't moving to hide it, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get a sense motive on this man,
what?
please?
Yeah, I want to
he's been
read on this guy
quiet.
before I talk in front of him.
Vibe check first.
Yeah, okay. Everybody vibe check. Who wants to vibe check?
I would like to, even though I don't think my sense motive is very good. Yeah, it's a -1. Let's try this. Maybe I'll get lucky.
I'm
gonna put it in
99% sure he's just a guy. So I'm not
Oh,
gonna
almost
vibe check.
certainly, but vibe check first just to...
Cal popping off.
I don't have anything in it, so it's
I
just a
got
flat 20. but-
23.
Right. Victor also popping off, but Cal popping off through the natural talent. Victor popping off through home skills.
Sit just needs to not roll the Julius dice, I think. I'm gonna put that away. It's cursed.
Why are you rolling the Julius dice?
Because they are very similar colors, and I was like, well, these are available to me. I'm not gonna roll them anymore. I've rolled such
I like
terrible
how-
rolls lately.
No matter what you roll
I
for
know.
Julius, roll 20 or dice, you just roll bad for him.
He did okay last week, or the last time we played, but he just has bad.
Alright.
He has bad roll luck. Everything else is fine.
Ren, you are distracted by the vibes in the air, I guess.
My own thoughts. Yep.
Yeah, you're distracted by your own thoughts.
Your frustration at rolling badly before.
Man, I just feel like I'm failing lately. I don't know why. I feel like it has numerical value.
Fern, this man he seems very awkward. He doesn't seem to enjoy the fact that this is his job right now. But it is his job right now. And he is here, and he is like paying attention to what you guys are doing, very much so, because you guys are on a crime scene and you are not people he knows, and he's keeping an eye out on you. For sure.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem like he wants to be here. Aya, very much the same. He seems a little bit anxious. There are a couple times when other guards talk to him, and he seems like he's trying to explain what exactly the situation is and why y'all are here doing this, and he doesn't seem like he's happy that that's his job either. Cal, same as before. He definitely doesn't like at least two of the guards who are conversing with him about what you guys are doing right now. And Victor, he hates one bitch in particular. Like, every time this person, like, makes a comment to him, he looks a little bit more like he's just thinking about all the things he could accomplish if he ran off and became a pirate and then one day met her on the open seas and then threw her overboard. Like, that's what's going on in his mind right now. He is trying to pay attention to what you guys are doing, but every time this particular guard comes up to him, he's like, I swear to fucking God, Casey, if you talk to me again in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna snap. All right?
He's having vivid fantasies about murdering his coworker.
He's having such vivid coworker murdering fantasies right now. And they are only mitigated when you guys are talking about actual important discoveries to the murder. So.
Okay, so we can, at the very least, it seems like we can definitely at least give him the vibes of there are tracks that someone very well covered up, and whatever it was clearly trying to impersonate probably the Sphinx, but was nowhere near heavy enough.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, on that note, can I attempt to figure out if it was heavy enough for most animals of a size category to take down a person?
Go ahead, do another survival for me.
And is there anyone who looks like they're leading the investigation here?
Like they're what now?
Like there's someone leading the investigation. Like there's someone who seems to be in charge of the crime scene.
No, your understanding from what you're seeing is that these people are just here to make sure townsfolk don't fuck with anything or get too close or see it. There's not an active investigation, as it were, happening at this point.
So no one trails to the blood blithely.
No. Nocturne, what were you saying?
Fern is not going to talk openly in front of the guard.
Okay, good
like,
to know.
Fern will follow along with conversation, but will not divulge any new information in front of him.
Okay. 18 on the survival check. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I don't know how much he heard of Fern's initial explanation, but
Fern is soft-spoken enough that I'm going to say he didn't hear it necessarily, but Skylar, I think, is being pretty open about what they're discovering, so this information is getting passed along to Jerry in some way.
No, I know it will get passed along to him, but Fern is not going to be the one doing the passing.
Yeah. Aya, you had an 18 on your survival check to... What was your survival check for one more time?
Trying to figure out if the deepness of the prints matches sort of... okay, so things need to be a certain size to be able to take down a human. Just fundamentally.
So you're like thinking either something of this size category or something pretending to be of this size category, right?
That's the kind of vibe. Is this deeply imprinted enough to be something actually of the size category to take down a human? She is thinking purely in terms of animals, considering her,
Yeah, no, that makes sense that she'd be thinking of animals.
Yeah.
It would have to be a fairly... I'll just tell you because Aya would be able to compare it to herself. She looks at the prints, and then she looks at where she has stepped and left a mark. It is about that same depth. So
it's about something of human size that left.
It is human size, at least.
About something of human sized. Probably not as light on its feet as I am, but about human sized, that kind of weight. So possibly a person trying to pass us something.
Yeah, that's what Skylar's thinking.
Yeah, but she's kind of confirming it from a different.
Mhm.
Same information, different sides.
All right.
Yeah. And Skylar is passing this to Jerry.
Yeah.
All right. Jerry is absorbing this information. And to those of you who did not roll extremely high, you are not aware of the piracy fantasies he's having about killing all his coworkers right now.
You know what, though? I think he does deserve them. He does deserve.
Good God, he fucking does. But that's a different story.
Cal sort of drifts closer to Jerry and, very commiserating, pats him on the shoulder. Doesn't say anything, just pat. Solid, like, nod.
He does seem a little bit jarred by this because he wasn't expecting it, and you're still pretty much a stranger, but he just sort of nods along with you and says, "Been a day."
I mean,
Been a
you
week.
guys don't see much murder? Seems like some of your coworkers are less than admirable.
Make a diplomacy check.
I'm good, I'm great at those.
Are you trying to sleep with him?
Oh my
18.
god.
God.
You are insulting his coworkers in front of him, even if he hates them too.
Yeah, Victor is like 3 steps away from being like, okay.
I can't believe no one gets talked to the cops.
18!
18.
You guys keep insulting my diplomacy, and I rolled an 18, so meh.
Cal rolls an 18, and with that, Jerry just sort of nods, and he just sort of like, he nods and he shakes his head, and he's like, no, it's fine, they're all fine. I'm just tired. I just don't want to have this conversation for the 8th time today. Not that she would know that. But, and then he sort of raises his voice, and all in an honest day's work.
Fair enough, friend. Doing good work.
I'm supposed to be taking y'all to the locked box now.
Yes.
Of course.
I'm gonna take y'all to the locked box now. And he reverts kind of into his I do my best work when I am not talking to people mode.
To him.
Mood.
He would be more valid if he fucked off to become a pirate and start being a cop.
This is actually the foreshadowing for Jerry the pirate, who you guys are going to meet at level 17.
Fantastic.
I'll remember him.
Please.
Yeah.
Well, now that I've said that, I have to, or you guys are going to be mad.
Please.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll write a post-it note and stick it to my computer, and once we hit 17, I'll remember.
We will ask daily. Where's our beloved Jerry?
Somebody starts like a daily Tumblr blog that's like November 17th, 2021. Is Jerry a pirate yet? No.
Yeah. Oh my god, I could do that. Is
It's
Jerry a pirate?
It's like, can we introduce him to a pirate? No, find pirate for Jerry to introduce him to me.
Everybody find a nice pirate for Jerry, all right? Let's hook Jerry up with a pirate.
Yeah.
Actually, can I do a pirate check?
I mean, if absolutely necessary, I can toss you a couple of pirates. I just don't know if any of them will hook up with him.
No.
God.
I will be in charge of any pirates Jerry hooks up with, all right?
Hell yeah.
The way that came out of my mouth was not quite the way I wanted it to sound.
Rip.
But unfortunately, that is what I said, and we're going to move on, and you guys are going to go to the locked box, and Jerry is just going to be big boy vibing. It's a very sturdy, solid-looking building. It's tall. Not that it's multiple stories. It is a very big-looking building, though, despite the fact that it does appear to be a single story. The front doors are very heavy, high-quality wood, and you don't notice any windows. You enter, and this is the thing that I was going to make a map for you guys, but then you guys said theater of the mind, so you guys enter into an office space, sort of a lobby, and just inside is trying to think of the best way to describe. Just inside is a very weepy human woman, who is seated with a guard on either side of her. Not a town guard, but clearly a uniformed individual. 2 uniformed individuals. And they are both very awkwardly patting her on the back and trying to be comforting, and she is just weeping and sobbing and blowing her nose and just looks, frankly, an absolute mess.
Aw.
Can I get a very quick vibe check on if they're making this worse for her?
And,
you can sense motive, everybody.
I
And,
also want to do that.
I would like to sense.
Can I repeat what I did on the outside, but inside, not really survival, but like quick a perception check, look around the room, look for things that
hit a perception
aside from
for me.
Oh, okay, that's not terrible. Nice. Whatever 13 plus 8 is, which I think is 21, or
It's 21, yeah.
Drop it in the chat for me, please.
okay.
And Fire had something?
I want sense motive specifically on the widow.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead,
also was going to ask.
Oh
since
my
we're gonna do it
fucking
afterwards.
god!
Ooh,
Hell.
even better.
Fuck, okay. Jamie, I'll have you wait on your sense motive because you did a perception.
Okay.
Anybody else sense motiving?
I'm gonna join actually in perception.
Yeah,
The
I feel
Blue
like,
Dykes are taking a similar course of action?
I feel like
Boss.
Soot would rather perceive versus insight, because Mans is
for
not
it.
the best. I'm rolling different dice. That's a little better. I still have a -1 to perception, but that's okay.
I've rolled 14s and 23s.
Jesus.
That's
Okay. Yeah, okay, so let's do sense motives first. Joe, is yours the 23 up there?
Yes. Sorry, I while we were all doing sense motives, it made sense for me to just do it as a...
You're good. I'm just keeping numbers straight in my head is challenging. So, Fern, are you looking more at the widow herself or more at the guards around her, or both?
More at the widow.
She seems genuinely inconsolably devastated. There's nothing that seems to be exaggerated or out of place about her demeanor. This woman is fucking heartbroken. Let's see. Sense motive. This is Cal's second nat 20.
I'm giving you a peace sign. You can't
Cal
see
is
it,
just
but I
built
am.
different. We'll do Aya's and then Cal's this way, I think. Because Aya is looking at the guards and Cal is looking at the widow. So Aya, The guards.
Well, I was kind of looking at the
I know,
to see if the
what,
guards.
I know what you mean when you're
Yeah.
looking to see if the guards are making it worse. That's the best way I can phrase it in my head.
Yeah, fair enough.
It looks like they are there because they are nervous to leave her on her own, and while it is awkward comfort, she is like she's got one of them by the hand and is holding it very tightly. It doesn't look like she would want them to leave. She also looks not just miserable, but she looks scared, and as you guys enter, she does seem a little jumpy.
Yeah.
And Cal, same thing, jumpy, very much clinging to the guards. Same, absolutely heartbroken. And she just looks. The thing, I don't know if I mentioned to you all, this is more of a perception thing, but I'm giving it for the sense motive for this case. From what you'd heard, I don't know if I actually said this, Archivin Walder, the murder victim, was an older man.
Yeah.
She looks younger than you expected her to be.
Fair enough.
Not that this is just like Cal is specifically noticing. You assumed probably that she would be, 60s. She looks like she's
Of an
probably
age.
She's not absurdly young. This isn't like a 20-year-old, but she looks probably more like she's in her 40s.
Okay.
A
So
significant enough age gap.
a significant age gap, but not one where you're like, oh Jesus, Mans was really robbing the cradle on this one.
Hey, maybe
Enough
she was,
enough to be.
maybe she
Go
was
ahead.
robbing the grave.
Don't.
It's enough to be noticeable, but not enough to be concerning.
It is enough to be noticeable, but not concerning. Yes. Okay. Those are all my sense motives, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then the perceptions. We've got 14 and 16, both get you about the same. The office space does look ransacked. It is not, there are no windows to smash, but the vibe of the whole space with papers and like trinkets strewn everywhere, it gives the vibe of a place that like was torn up as best as it could be, and then some people tried kind of to put it back together, presumably over the course of the morning. Some people tried to, lift up a couple chairs that had been thrown around and rearrange a couple papers and set them on the desk instead of just leaving them strewn across the floor. But the place is trashed. Then we get... Who else rolled a perception? Just Skylar? Yeah. Skylar with a 21. You are noticing all of this. You are noticing a door in the back, which does seem to... It looks closed and locked, but there is clearly, even from this distance, you can see there is more... There is sort of strewn about broken pieces of wood around it, almost as if somebody had broken furniture against the door.
Like they worked really hard to get it in there, right?
Yeah, so there's something... that definitely looks like the site of primary destruction. But yes, those... Goodness gracious, those are the perceptions. All right. As you guys are entering, the widow tries her best to stop her blubbering, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you here with the sheriff?"
Yes, we are, madam. We've been tasked with investigating the murder of your husband.
This
Very sorry
sends
for
her
your
into
loss.
a fresh, wailing bout of tears.
Aya's just kind of gently going to lean forward and offer a handkerchief. Just, hey, easy, easy.
She takes it and blows her nose violently.
Yep.
Fern
Aya's
is going.
What's up, Nocturne?
Nothing.
No, what's Fern gonna do?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Fern is going to like sort of she's sitting, right?
She's seated in what looks like it must have been like the main nice cushy chair that's just sort of been moved here. It doesn't look like that's where the chair originally was, but she's sitting on it, yeah.
Fern is kind of going to like kneel down and I can't pull my brain together to get words to this effect, but do comforting things, but because it's Fern.
Make one of your checks.
Can I also attempt a check of some kind to
13 on the dice plus 9 is 22.
22.
I was trying to do comforting in the very sympathetic. No, my experiences aren't yours, but they're similar.
Yeah, I'll get to that after I do this.
Yep.
Fern, you approach, and the guards seem a little bit like, we don't actually know you people, but Jerry seems to sort of wave and like nod, and he sort of waves one of the guards over, and as that one, who is now the one holding the woman's hand, sort of slides away, Fern, you can sort of easily take the guard's place at her side. And you offer her, a hand. She takes it as well. And your presence does seem very steadying to her. She does seem like she has calmed after her most recent bout of wailing, and is breathing deeply along with you, and seems like maybe she's better capable of communicating now than she was a second ago. So I'm going to address what Joe said. If you would like to make a diplomacy check, I would have you do that.
Good old diplomacy.
That's exactly how it's pronounced, yes.
Yeah, diplomacy.
Hold on, I'll send that to the...
Do I notice this exchange between Fern and I presume I can see Fern?
Victor, because it's you do notice this, and you're like, this woman was hysterical. And then this woman was no longer hysterical. And Fern didn't even really do anything. He just sort of went up there and like said some shit and like was there, but he didn't do shit. And now the woman's fine? You are extremely aware of this. Other people, not so much. But you do notice that Fern has calmed this woman's goodness significantly, but it's less pinging as like a, hey, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. He's just a very soothing person.
He's your friend. Sorry, go ahead.
Victor's going to put this in the back of her mind.
Jamie gets it.
Yeah.
He's your friend.
Yeah.
He's your friend.
They're your friend.
With a notepad and quill in hand, they're gonna kneel down and talk.
I forgot to actually address what Joe had to say for like with the IAP thing. I'm so sorry, I've gotten distracted again. I'm gonna do that for realsies this time.
I don't
an
know
18
entirely
to
what she's gonna say, but she is kind of gonna touch on that. Hey, I lost my husband fairly recently.
Okay.
It's awful. Just very much trying for the sympathy, and I am listening. I am here.
Yeah, she does. Now, she doesn't seem really like she wants to talk and commiserate.
She doesn't need to. But
She doesn't really it doesn't seem like, I'm trying to think of the best way. Sympathy isn't really what she needs right now, but it is not unwelcome. It's just not
Helping.
the most effective avenue. She does seem like she's between you and Fern. She does seem like she's a lot calmer now, and she's going to, before anybody else says anything, she's going to, holding tight to Fern's hand in one hand and the guard's hand in the other, she's going to say, "I'm so sorry you've caught me in a little bit of a state, I guess you could say. What, I'm so sorry, I'm Agnes Walder. What's everyone's, what are your names?"
Oh yes, I should have introduced myself. I am Skylar Locke, a gentleman detective. And wait for others to introduce themselves.
At this point, y'all notice that Cal isn't in the room.
Interesting.
If Fern is not directly prompted for a name, they will not give one.
Yeah.
So
She's, I would say, looking more at the people who are not Fern. Like, basically, Fern has talked to her and held her hand, and she's like, "Okay, this is the presence I have now." And she's looking at everybody else, prompting for names.
Hi, Clausen. Nice to meet you.
So, wish you could have met in better circumstance, unfortunately. Sorry for your loss.
I do too. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel.
Yes,
I just can't.
I understand that's supposed to be rather distressing for you, ma'am. If you
Rather distressing is a word for it. Yes.
she'll say, if you're up to it and if you don't mind, we have a few questions so that way we can bring the person who did this to your husband to justice.
He does, for a second, seem a little bit distraught at this notion, but she pauses, takes a deep breath, she squeezes Fern's hand again, and she nods, and she says, "I mean, anything I can do to help. Anything."
Yes, no, of course. First off, might we see your husband? I assume he's at the local temple, correct?
Oh, yes, they brought him there, and poor Bernard too. They both are, I think, at the temple. I don't know, they couldn't stay here, you know.
Yes, no, of course. That's nothing you should. That's something you should not have to look at, madam. Also, might we have access to? Well, might we have permission to look around your shop and your home for anything that could help us in this?
Oh, yes, the vault is Oh, you need my key. We couldn't find Archie's key. We couldn't find his key, but I have the spare. She rummages around and pulls from her pocket a large, ornate, sort of brass-looking key. And she says, "Yes, but this is. We can. I'll take you down there. Yes, I can take you down there."
Yes.
She rather
cool.
unsteadily gets herself to her feet, and then begins to lead you. And before you guys enter the vault, Fire, could you pop with me to Whispers for a second?
Oh,
Hell
yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah!
First whispers of the game, I think.
First whispers of the game.
Oh.
Hi, Victor.
Hi, Fern.
Hi. Oh.
Hi, Fern.
Hi. Sorry.
Nothing for
I'm
you
getting-
to apologize for.
I'm getting real nervous.
Yeah, I'm sure it's Snoop and stuff.
I didn't roll anything this time.
You didn't have to. I know what's going to happen pretty soon, and I'm not excited for it. It is an inevitability, but I am not excited for it. Like, I'm excited, like, in a, like, this is gonna be fun roleplay way, but I'm not excited in an, oh no.
You're not excited to ask Fern.
Oh no, I'm not excited in an oh no my secrets way, you know? Like when
Yeah.
when the DM's gonna hand out your secrets. I'm nervous in that way. Because soon I am losing my secrets and then I have nothing.
Yeah, mood. I can't wait for my secrets to be revealed, but also I want to keep them for as long as possible.
Victor does have a question for Agnes if we have the chance to pop in. Which I was going to, but
yeah, but I was gonna ask questions too, but then we were let down. I guess I can wait till after she opens the vault for us.
Fern.
What?
Just hello.
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 I don't get why you don't like him. He's your friend.
Yeah, aren't I? Aren't I?
No.
Why not?
Well, you're not Victor's friend. Everyone else's friend, yes.
But his name is your friend. How could he not be Victor's friend?
Skylar, I think it's real funny that Skylar's fully bought into the your friend thing.
Well, it's not
But
that. That's Jamie. Skylar hasn't paid attention to
Skylar referred to them as your friend, like, in conversation, and we caught that immediately. We're like, oh.
Wait, what?
It's really funny for reasons I can't tell you.
I don't think I said different. I said Fern.
I heard it, I think. Or I could have been hearing things. Either way, Fern does sound a lot like your friend.
Yeah. Well, they are. Well, that's okay. It's good that it sounds like your friend, because Fern is my friend.
That's good. That's good.
Not suspicious at all. Just a good, nice, charming, chilling. Not chilling. Calming.
It's just a very nice chilling time, you know?
Yeah.
I like that.
Literally no reason to distrust Fern.
No.
Excuse me.
Especially not all the rolls I keep having to make.
Some of the problem is that Victor, the way she is, she's not going to ask anyone else if they've noticed something weird.
Mm-hmm.
She got a non-reaction the very first time and went, okay.
Yeah, they haven't really had reason to look beyond, so they're like, okay, yeah, they're just a person.
Yeah, they are. There's nothing weird about them.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Nothing off-putting at all.
No,
Nothing
There's
the slightest
definitely-
bit disconcerting.
no. I can't say that.
They're just your friend.
They're just your friend.
Imagine not having Ferna as your friend. Could not be.
It's only Victor. And like
Oh,
probably
no.
some, and probably if they're still, probably like some NPCs that exist out there in the world. I don't know if we'll ever meet any of them, but there are certainly other people who have encountered Fern and have had the same reaction as Victor, which is what the fuck.
Man. I just love how at odds they are. It's so funny.
It's
Once you find out why Victor like reacts the way she is, it's gonna like slot into place, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, that tracks."
well, Victor is just gonna have to deal with it, and I can't. I've already said too much.
I'm back.
Welcome
Hello,
back.
friends.
Hello,
Yes.
Claire.
It is no longer a lawless land in here, so y'all better have been behaving.
Bitch,
As
please.
we are
Misbehave? Would we do that to you?
Nah,
You've
we
never
would
misbehaved before in your life.
never. Not in this VC. No.
as we are walking to the vault, Victor would like to speak up to Agnes.
Go right ahead.
Excuse me.
Apologies, ma'am, but it seems part of our briefing was a little short. You mentioned another victim of Bertrand?
Oh,
The
yes.
god who got killed.
Yes, it was. I feel so terrible. There are, four guards for the shop and the vault. And when Archie didn't come home last night, I went and I asked if they would help look for him. And three of them came with me to search, and we left Bertrand on his own. And then when they well, those thieves, they must have. Well, they did. It's just such a terrible thing to happen to a person dying all alone.
Say no more, ma'am.
I just feel like the whole thing wouldn't have happened if I'd just gone to the carnival with Archie. Then none of it would have. He wouldn't have been alone, and then maybe nobody would have tried to hurt him, and then I wouldn't have sent the guards, and then Bertrand would be here. But
With all due respect, ma'am, that is not something you can really change, but it is a thought that counts.
Out of character question. So what I'm getting is that between the time of her husband dying and her going to find the body and leaving to go and find the body, he was alive. Bertrand was alive before she left, right?
yes.
Okay, cool.
And
He was murdered during the
it wasn't
break-in.
clear in the sheriff's briefing. As
Okay.
far as you guys are aware,
Okay.
that as far as you guys are aware, Agnes discovered that her husband wasn't home late after she expected him. She went to the lockbox to ask the guards to help her search for him. There were 4 guards there. 3 of them went with her to search. Whilst they were searching, thieves broke into the locked box, killed Bertrand, stole valuable items. Some guards brought the body back to the locked box to keep it safe until the morning when the sheriff could be contacted. And when they brought the body back, that was when they discovered the thieves, saw them running off, discovered Bertrand's body.
And did they say how long they were gone?
They didn't specify a timeline.
Okay. Then Skylar will interject. Writing down something. Cool. Skylar will interject and say, "Madam, might I ask you how long you and your guards were gone for? Do you think?"
I don't know. I guess I don't know. We'd gone to find Archie, and we went off to. Perhaps we should have started searching close to home, but we went out to try to find him at the circus, if maybe the circus was still going, but it wasn't, and we made our way back. I guess it could have been 30 minutes, it could have been an hour, it could have been longer than that. I don't know.
Oh, no, that's helpful, ma'am. You couldn't have known that he was on his way home. Thank you.
As she leads you to the door where there are the sort of broken, discarded pieces of the chair, she does not use the large ornate key for this door. Indeed, the door seems to be currently unlocked. But she leads you down the stairs into what is a very bare corridor. And there is double doors at the end of the corridor. There's a lantern at the base of the stairs, and underneath it there is a single chair.
So we leave through the upper door, enter through the upper door. Does it look like they were successful in breaking the lock to get in, or does it look like it remained steady or strong or whatever?
It doesn't look as though the broken chair did functional or structural damage to the door ultimately.
Okay. Were there scrapings along the door frame as if to suggest, or broken pieces of the door frame as if to suggest, like using a tool or brute force to open
It
the door?
doesn't look like the door's structure has been compromised, so you're left to assume that either it was unlocked and they smashed the chair for no reason, or they ultimately ended up picking it and they smashed the chair for no reason.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Is Cal back with us, by the way?
Oh yeah, did Cal return?
Yeah, Cal would have come back into the room. Anyone who was paying attention would have noticed that they'd gone outside and re-entered like 5 minutes later.
Could Soot do another one of those magic checks again, just in the area?
For Cal or for the shop?
For the shop. Just because that's the one thing he's good at. Is
Yeah,
finding
go
where the
for
fuck magic is.
For sure.
Okay.
Let me check something here.
It's so surreal to me not to have to make checks for this unless I have to. It's weird.
Yeah. So currently there are no words and thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
There are no magical auras present in the main showroom. Around the showroom, it's lit up very nicely, and there's some broken glass display cases where it looks like there were things that might have been magical or otherwise extremely valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, what's left is just sort of unusual tools, a couple masterwork weapons, but nothing that looks like it would have been relevant to the injuries you've seen, or that you've heard about, rather. You have the body, jewelry, china, antiques, a couple pieces of artwork, but nothing that is reading magic to you.
Gotcha.
That's another thing 5e should not have dealt away with. Masterwork weapons.
Yeah. I've been in a lot of games that homebrew them back in.
Oh yeah, same.
So just kind of like takes a look around for all the magic stuff and just like sighs and then wanders back to everyone else with nothing to show. He's like, I tried. I'm just a fucking dude.
You're just a fucking dude. God bless.
Just a chinchilla.
I'm just a fucking chinchilla. Leave me alone.
Does that mean that Soot cannot swim or will...
Well, why do you think he wears so many layers of clothing? He doesn't want to get wet. No.
Fair enough.
No, that's not canon. We can't make that canon. He bathes. He does not smell. He's just a little bit ashy. It's fine.
God.
Okay. Soot is giving me a lot of, like... I don't know how to describe the vibes Soot is giving me in a way that makes any sense without giving a shit ton of without having to make someone give context.
I mean, you can DM it if you want to me.
No, it's... the problem is that in order for it to make sense, either Parker or Fire would have to give a shit ton of context.
Oh, God.
Are you also getting Isaac?
Yes!
Yeah.
I'm getting soft
Okay.
Isaac vibes!
Oh, no.
That was what I was thinking about earlier, yeah.
As soon as you described it as ashy, I was like, oh fuck, we have...
I have a warlock who is also similarly constantly covered in ash.
Who is also Irish!
Oh, God.
He is.
Does he take dust baths?
I mean...
Soot rolls of
Isaac,
volcanic
my
ash.
beloved dirty boy.
I love
Dusty,
Isaac.
dirty boy. God.
Oh yeah, so Skylar will say, so might I ask where you found Bertrand when you came back?
Oh goodness. And she turns to the other guard who is walking with her, and he says, we found him in the guard's quarters. He, was upstairs. We can show you after. But the guard makes a illustrative throat-cutting gesture.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Skylar gives an understanding nod. He'll say, yes, no, thank you, that'd be most helpful.
He said the keys were missing that this guard had.
No, actually.
He's missing.
My husband's key. We couldn't. It wasn't on him. He always keeps it on him, and I thought maybe he misplaced it in the office, but he hadn't misplaced it. I couldn't find it in the office. I don't know. I haven't found it. Everything's a mess, so it's quite possible I just am not seeing it, but I have mine. That's what matters.
I am not gonna say it, but, if she says it, it's going to be sort of turning and sort of mouthing it to someone. But was probably on him. It was probably on him when he was killed.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to say it because right now she is.
Yeah.
Cal, however, is going to say, I'm sorry to say this, ma'am, but in all likelihood, you should get those locks changed, because sorry to say that key was probably stolen by whoever was after your husband.
Oh, yes, I suppose that makes the most sense, doesn't it? Oh no, dear.
I'm aware that your husband was a moneylender. Was there anyone that you can think of, anyone who he owed him money, or any shadier people in town, or anyone that comes across your mind that might have wanted to do harm to your husband, or maybe threatened him at some point?
I don't know. Archie was the sweetest man in the whole world, you know. I don't.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, people owed him money. He was a money lender. He gave people money when they were on hard times, you know. He was doing a service for the town, and I just can't think of anybody who would do such. I don't know who would do such a thing.
Well, that still helps, ma'am. Yes, no, I heard from the sheriff that he was well liked, and he was different than most money lenders, and that he was not ruthless like, some tend to be in his profession.
He was just. Oh, I don't know. I just can't get my head around it, you know. It doesn't feel right. Okay. The vault. The vault.
Yes,
The vault.
please.
She leads you down the corridor.
Question, PK. The thing I got in the soot channel. When was that said?
That was when you got into the corridor.
There's an OT.
Can he take a quick look around?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check for me, Soot.
Okay, that was not the best, but what is my perception?
Love a soot check.
Poncho, what the fuck are you doing right now, bud?
That's just a 12. God damn it.
Have you not been fed, buddy?
He's paunching.
Paunching,
Okay. What did you said 12?
Yeah, it wasn't that good. He's not a man for perception.
That's okay. He doesn't have to be.
Oh.
Since apparently everyone else is.
You don't notice anything? Perhaps that's expected, considering.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're all walking in, Agnes uses the key to unlock the big vault door. And
Soot hangs back just a little bit.
alright, she unlocks it, she opens it. How far back do you hang?
At least a good 10 feet.
Okay, we'll call it 10 feet.
Because he would have stopped to look around and... He's being wary. You guys probably notice it.
Mm-hmm. Ten feet works.
Oh god.
So you all walk in, those of you who are not Soot. You enter the door. Agnes is standing outside, sort of wringing her hands together. As you all walk in, because the door, as she turned the key, the door, and removed it, the door sort of swung open automatically. You all walk in, and it sort of begins to swing shut in that same automatic way. Anybody can stop it pretty easily if they want to make a
Yeah, I think I was sure.
Go ahead and make a reflex save.
18 on the dice for 23.
Easy, very easily done. She just sort of deftly puts a hand up, stops it.
I think she actually probably uses sort of the front. She sort of uses the folded up fan to.
Fair enough. Good correction.
Considering sort of the things we talked about.
Stop it. And props it open with relative ease.
Yeah.
What's the general state? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So nothing has happened yet. What is the general state? Is that what you just said?
Of the general state of the vault. Does it look like does it look messy or does it look still rather clean? I'm trying to get a vibe check to see if they were looking for something or if they knew where to find something.
It looks fairly tidy. It is. It's a darker chamber. It doesn't have the same lanterns that were distributed throughout the rest of the building. It's lined with shelves on the outside and then freestanding shelving sort of standing in the center. And there's a lot of room. It's a very roomy space, and everything in terms of boxes and bags and even weapons and armor, that all seems to be labeled and organized in a very specific fashion, and it doesn't look torn to pieces the way the previous one was.
The labels give Skylar some serotonin.
They are labeled.
Yeah,
It is very nice.
that does actually remind me of a question that Aya is going to ask, but she's not going to ask it while we're in the vault. She's going to ask it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Soot is just gonna kind of. He is approaching the vault again. It is being held open, right? Or.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aya's
it's open.
got it propped open.
He's
Can everybody
gonna.
make a perception check for me real quick?
Yeah, of course. I would
Another one, or
absolutely.
Can who make a perception check?
Everyone.
Oh, fuck yeah.
God damn it. However,
What was it?
Perception.
Perception.
Soot,
Okay.
as he's
What the
wandering.
I
God.
got a natural 19.
At Aya was holding it open, right?
Yeah.
As he's kind of approaching her, he's gonna stop and just say, "Be careful of traps. I think there's something going on here."
It's the funniest thing, Soot, because as you say, are you still outside the door when you say
Yeah,
that?
because he wasn't quite in the doorway yet.
Okay, so you're standing outside the door. It's the funniest thing, Soot, because you say, "Be careful of traps," and it's at that moment that anybody who rolled above a 20 on their perception check hears a loud click. And everybody in the vault who would notice this, you guys instinctively freeze and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well,
Miss Agnes?
it is a surprise to everyone, including Soot, when the trap door that opens is not in the vault, but right under Soot's feet.
Fuck!
And that is where we're gonna wrap up session for the night.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
fantastic.
gonna die! Jesus
You're not gonna die,
Nice,
I promise you.
Y'all remember Soot?
It's intended for someone to trigger the trap, I promise. It's not an instant kill Soot moment.
I love that he's like, I need to be careful because of things, and
And, well... Oh, that reminds me, one more thing.
Gonna put another thing in my chat for me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You fuck.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm so mad.
It's okay. It'll be okay. Thank you all for playing. I hope you had as
Thank you
much
for
fun as
running.
I did.
Yeah, thank you, PK. I'm gonna probably take a nap.
You guys are doing extremely well so far with Murder's Mark. I'm very proud of you.
Yay! I'm glad we're doing good.
So, I might have